Game number 1 is going to be on Dragon Scales, spawning in the upper left-hand corner. We have the blue Protoss for Dragon Kitesy, herO. And, of course, you know it really wouldn't be a KSL Grand Finals if it wasn't these two guys against each other. His teammate, his opponent in the lower right. It is dark. Always a good time between these two. Always a good time between these two. Reminder, if you're having fun, this is all funded by the Patreon. Please consider becoming a patron today so we can continue supporting these players and continue supporting these incredible games where drones move across the map and, you know, things get nice and spicy here. This drone's going to go ahead and put the hatch down right in the location where the hatch belongs, in herO's natural, as you'd expect. Probes coming down to see what's what and start to put some pressure onto this hatch. Looks like it's going to be 6 probes, which is more than enough to force a cancel on this base. Dark does have a pool and a gas going down, but it's not going to be in any time to do anything about this. This is just to delay the nexus of herO. I actually haven't seen this in so long. Dark might even do the Evo chamber trick here. So this is to take probes off of mining and to delay this nexus by as long as possible. No Zealot on the way out for herO, so he's not overcommitting to this. He scouted the later gas and the later pool, so he knows this isn't a real threat of completing. Just trying to stop it from blocking his nexus for as long as possible. Well, Dark gets another one down. Oh my god, the probe's got to stay out here for even longer. And he's supply blocked. Oh, the slight delay on that pylon. He's going to chrono boost out this Adept. There's the Evo chamber trick to keep the probes out here even longer. Dark just delaying this nexus by so long. Obviously, this costs Dark a lot of money, but it's so much less mining time. Absolutely worth it. Now, as the Lings finish up this pylon, Dark should be able to take this base. Oh, herO might be able to put down a new pylon. Drops the Cyber Core. He says, if you're going to do it to me, I'm going to do it to you, you son of a biscuit. Lings will chew through that, probably force a cancel, but delaying that hatch is important because this Nexus is so far delayed. I love it. This is currently live. Person in Twitch chat. However, if you're watching this on YouTube, then it's definitely not live on YouTube. But make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can watch more non-live casts in the future. Not everybody can be awake and be on Twitch ready to watch the KSL, but that's okay. That's what posting VODs on YouTube is for. Dark building another hatchery in the main. I mean, he could let this one finish. Just let it finish up. Why not? Who cares if there's a robo on the way? Just start spreading creep, build a queen, you know? Really make things exciting. Man, this is so wild. Well, Ling's gonna pressure the front, getting on top of these dips a little bit. But herO's wall seems to be pretty well buttoned up. Hatch in main is looking to finish. herO's got an Immortal on the way. No third base here for Dark. 6 roaches on the way for Dark. Oh my god, Dark's just going for it. The hatch is going to finish. A roach is building in the main base. Now, roach is not particularly good against the mortals. Surprised we're not seeing a queen be built. Oh, there it goes. I think it might be too late now. I think that Immortal might have to go down to the low ground pretty soon. There is a shield battery here, and there's a sentry. herO is very well prepared for Dark to get really aggressive. And with the Zealot here and the Immortal, he is absolutely going to kill this hatchery. No queens coming out. I think the Roach might have been canceled in favor of the 2 Lings. Dark trying to dive up. He's trying to file down the front here. Get some damage done on that Stalker. Is there an overcharge available? There's not enough energy on this Nexus or on the main one, but it is pretty close to being available. More biles going down, this time on the pylon. He will take the pylon down. No more warp ins, but herO's got a prism here. Oh my god, he's going to turn the pylon on. But the biles, they hit the prism, but they don't quite get the kill. The overcharge is too good, and the next hit of biles is too late. Is the micro going to be good enough here for herO? Probe's getting pulled. There's a disruptor coming out. Oh man, a trap on one of the Ravagers, a trap on the other one with the probes, and GG gets called as Dark just has nothing behind that. He killed a few probes, but not nearly enough to equalize. And Dark opens up with an insanely spicy build. One of the spiciest. That was when you go to the restaurant and you're like, oh, I'll get the yellow curry. And they're like, what level of spice do you want it? You want it a 1 to a 5. And you're like, a 2, because it's like a Thai restaurant and you know that anything above a 2 is just way too hot for you. That's me anyways. That was a 5 from Dark. Solid 5. I was like, neuro would eat that and be like, this is good. This is the good level of spice. We tried to get into the lobby for game 2, but it didn't have the appropriate lobby mod. So we're going to do it again. Gotta have that game heart, or rather the Observer Plus Plus. Which was, of course, partially made by Nice Username. I think he took a lot of the stuff from the Game Heart one. Add a lot of other stuff. Cool stuff to the mod. Shout out to Joey. All good pour for you. You have a good night. I will, I can finish up the Wikipedia at the end. It should be fairly easy since we're on the finals. And you have a good night, my friend. Sleep well. Yeah, I do like seeing the player cam on the minimap. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun to see, like, at certain crucial moments where the players were looking. The Baneling run-by is coming in, and you're like, where's his camera? It's not here. Always good. Just the Aligulac? Oh, like linking it to the Wikipedia? Yeah, I'm not too sure how to do that either. I think you did great work, Poraforion. I think you did great work. All right, we're finally getting into game 2. We're on the correct mod, the Observer Plus Plus. You can also see the battle report, which is really, really nice. Great way to see what the recent trades have been. And, most importantly, we can see the game. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the red Protoss player from Dragon Kites Gaming, herO. And apparently we're not on the correct mod because I don't see player cams. That's too bad. His opponent in the lower right-hand corner, also for Dragon Kites, it's Dark. Coming up to be annoying. I wanted to see, actually, while I have the Wikipedia page open, how many times these guys have played against each other in the finals here. I think this is the 4th time, but it could be the 5th. Let's see. herO Dark, number 6, number 7, and number 9. Okay, so this is the 4th time we've had herO versus Dark in the KSL Grand Finals. I know that during the run of the KSL, they also hit each other in the EPT Open Cup Korea at least 2 or 3 times. These guys are very familiar with being up against each other in the finals of these online cups. Yeah, that is a good point you bring up, Senju. Next week, we have the DreamHack tournament, DreamHack tournament in Jönköping, which is probably pronounced differently than that, but it's, it's as close as we can get. And so I imagine a lot of these players that we're seeing in the top 8, a good number of them will be there, will be playing in it. I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to see. Keep an eye out. Who's going, and what that's going to mean for the KSL. We will be running it, so it's kind of a good opportunity for maybe a lesser-known player to win. I think it's pretty cool to have kind of off weeks like that where a lot of the big-name players are busy. One of the coolest like EPT cups I remember casting was like during Katowice. There was an EPT cup in 2020. And all the players were in Katowice. So there was only a couple players that weren't competing that played in it that were like pretty big names. It was like Lambo and Drogo. But because it was just them, there was actually a couple of upsets. And Rodson and Aquaron ended up playing against each other in the finals. It ended up being really cool because they both got to like upset a bigger name player. They had a couple players in the finals that, I mean, I doubt either of them have made a final since then. Maybe Aquaron made like an NA at some point. I'm not really sure, but I don't know. I think that's a cool thing, and hopefully next week KSL we get some of the maybe lesser known players up into the finals. I think that'd be pretty sick. So herO trying to be really annoying at the start here, but now Dark's got some lings out on the map. I'm going to try to put some counter pressure on, maybe delay a third. Here does have the Oracle on the way, though. First one is already headed across the map. See if it can't get some drone damage. Dark pretty good on the defense here. Ooh, I was going to say herO pretty good on the micro, but actually missed microing a little bit. I think he could have gotten 3 kills there, and I think he knows he should have gotten 3 kills there. Gets 1, does get out of there with the Oracle alive, but 4 hit points, not exactly what he was hoping for. Oh, and then this Oracle flies directly over the Queens. Feels like herO's not focused right now. He's got to tighten up his focus a little bit, taking a lot of damage. We kind of saw some of this happening earlier against Ragnarok too. He ended up winning those games, but did feel like he could have tightened up a little bit of that play. Now this game, we've got the Twilight Council. I think this is going to be Glaives. There's a lot of Adepts out. Could be very wrong. I've been wrong before. But now 3 more gates going down. There's the Glaives. It's going to be a lot of Adepts going across the map in a little bit here for herO. Let's see if he finishes this Shade. Yeah, not committing with these Adepts. Just wants to pressure a little bit. Pressure with Adepts is very common in Blink opener builds. And even like Charge opener build, anything really. Pressuring with a few Adepts, super duper common. So Dark won't really be thinking about that. It's weird that it might be Glaives. Oh, those Queens are walking across the map. I'm hearing Chariots of Fire in my mind again, but I won't sing it this time. I think I've done that enough. I'll save it for next time the Queens walk across the map. I feel like we don't see Queens walking across all that often anymore. The Oracles are going to spot this. Lings and Banes on the way. Now, Banes can be very, very powerful against the Adepts. But the Glaive Adepts, if they don't take too much damage from those Banes, they will decimate these Lings, and Queens off creep really are not the hot unit. I do like the stasis traps. Oh, they catch all the Banes! Oh my god, only a few Banes left back here. They're trying to reserve themselves for when this Shade happens. Queens cannot transfuse off creep. Dark's just trying to buy time until these units come out of the stasis. It's actually very, very close. Hero needs to be super careful about this. Okay, they decide to back up. Hero had a nice split. They can't back up too far. These queens really can't run away unless the entire army dies of Hero, and that's not happening just yet. But as I say that, Dark pulls the trigger, going in with the links and veins, but there's such a good spread from Hero. He cleans it all up, and now the queens desperately try to run away. But my friends, that is one thing they cannot do. And they will all go down. All these high energy queens can't transfuse at all. The adepts will clean them up, and now Dark is in an abysmal position. He didn't kill any probes. There was no run by killing probes with Banes. Hero didn't like cut probes. He does have a bunch in his natural that need to come out. He's gonna kill the shield battery to do it. But Hero's in a great spot economically, and Dark is not. Dark is really, really not. In fact, he doesn't even have a lair, does he? Oh man. He's gonna start up +1 missile attacks and get into some roaches. But this feels a little bit desperate. Hero's gonna put some pressure on both these adepts now. See if he can't pull this army out of position a little bit. Does finish this shade up here. The Bane's trying to come up. Oh, okay, those are excellent, excellent connections. And speaking of Bane run-bys, 12 probes go down. Hot damn. Also, speaking of herO, who I just brought up moments ago, in reference to eating spicy foods. Foods as spicy as Dark's builds. herO, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you all had a lovely time in herO's channel. We're now enjoying a little Dark versus Hero best of 5 action. So far, though, Hero looking pretty strong. He did just lose a lot of adepts, and you know what? He's put his adepts in the corner, and nobody puts baby in a corner. But Hero does put the adepts in the corner. He lost a lot of probes, and he's lost a lot of adepts for really nothing. Hero throwing away pretty much every advantage he had here. Dark pulling himself back into this game by the skin of his teeth. He's still down a few workers, but look at the army supply. Hero really doesn't have anything back at home. He's building some immortals. What he does have back at home is a second Stargate, a third Stargate, and a fleet beacon. So Hero trading out those adepts to get into tech. And, I mean, Dark can't really do anything about it right now. He doesn't know that the carriers are on the way. He's dealing with this prism. He's just trying to macro. Maybe trying to get that drone count up a little bit above 70. Just as he does it, Hero says, no, no, no. But, yeah, Dark really needs to get a scout going. He really needs to figure out that it is carriers on the way already. Because if he realizes it when there's, like, 6 carriers, is exactly what happened to Ragnarok earlier on today. And he's still just on, like, Roach Ling Bane. Dark's pretty dead. So he's going to need to realize it sooner rather than later. Triple carrier production right now. Damn, they already have +1. Also, +2 on the way. I can't believe Hero squeezed out +1 during all of this. It's actually insane. Now, Dark, if Dark's able to build up enough of a ground army, like 3 carriers just will not kill it in time before it kills a lot of Hero's stuff. And that could buy Dark the time he needs to get a Spire going. He's already got one on the way, so he must have realized that he's up against something. He must have seen a carrier somewhere. Or maybe he's just thinking about it. This is Hero after all. But he could put some pressure on. There's not a lot of ground army right now. And carriers do not kill these units particularly quickly. Ooh, super shield battery, pretty good. Stasis trap gets targeted down. Really nice work from Dark, killing that shield battery as well. This is kind of what I'm talking about, but it looks like Dark's going to back up after getting some of those kills. Shield battery, a few probes, decides to back up. Baneling's trying to run through, not getting the connections. They didn't quite have their centrifugal hooks. But just a few probes going down. Dark now guaranteed knows what he's up against, though, and that's going to be crucial. So we can start building those corruptors, because carriers have decided to push across the map. Always a little dicey, because I don't think Hero knows exactly where this Spire is in terms of the build time. Those corruptors could honestly be out already. Oh my god, and then suddenly, Roaches and Lings getting on top of this army. Force fields buying time, though, and the Prism is here to lift up units while the carriers just go to town on the Lings and Roaches. Again, they don't kill them particularly fast, but Dark doesn't want to just throw them away for nothing. Trades with a few gateway units and then just trying to run away, but yeah, look at all these roaches going down. The economy for both is very, very even, which is generally not great for the Zerg. But if we see Dark start to get into spellcasters, I will worry a little bit less. He's so insanely efficient with spellcasters. And I mean, he's got enough corruptors now to straight up win the fight. You know what? I say that. There's 8 carriers out. Damn. And remember that it is +2 on the carriers. Dark does not have any air weapons upgrades here. Oh, Bile's going to try to hit the carriers as well. They do hit a few of those lings. Super shield battery turns on, and that is going to keep these carriers alive. Oh, no, these corruptors need to get the hell out of there. What are they doing? Oh, no. I think that was a good idea from Dark, but he didn't quite have the corruptor count to dive on top of those and one-shot the carriers. That's what you really need in that situation. He's rebuilding the corruptors, but he had 16 of them out. I think if he kind of just chills, he could get into a big enough army. He killed a couple carriers, but that was an excellent, excellent trade for herO. Killing a lot more, and he's got Mama on the way. Worker count very similar for them. Dark does have that 5th base up and running now, though. And try to hit up here, realizing there's not actually a base up here, and there's a nice little defense for herO. Decides not to. Dark does have a lot of ground units. The disruptors are kind of interesting here. I mean, be quite good on the ground, especially in conjuncture with the Archons. Archons and High Templar with Storm pretty crucial in helping to defend the carriers against the corruptors if the corruptor count gets too high. Right now, that corruptor count is decidedly not too high. It is still just 6 carriers, but only 13 corruptors. Not quite enough, I think, especially, again, with no upgrades. They're about to finish +1. Super shield battery a little bit late here. Dark busting through some of that static defense. Dropping some Biles on the retreat. I don't think he has any detection, though, so this mothership could be quite nice. Disruptor gets a nice hit as well as these units try to retreat. And every time Dark retreats, he is losing a lot. Looks like he's trying to outmaneuver this army and pull herO out of position a little bit. 8 more corruptors on the way. Now we're getting into good corruptor numbers that might be able to just target down the mothership, target down these carriers. I'm really surprised to not see any spellcasters from Dark, but I just don't think he's had the economy to get into Vipers, to get into Infestors. And that ground army got caught on the top side, and oh my god, those disruptors demolishing the queens. Now this base is just getting torn to shreds. Dark is in a lot of trouble right now. Where are the corruptors? Are they fighting? I mean, they're winning a fight, that's for sure. They're killing carriers, but the ground army is just uncontested. GG gets called. herO wins game number 2, goes up 2-0 in this best of 5. Now, we have seen comebacks. I think we've seen comebacks on both sides. We've seen reverse sweeps between these two. Just mentioning earlier, this is the 4th time we've had Dark versus herO in the KSL finals, and they've hit in a lot of other matches before. A lot of other finals, EPT Cups, etc. Plenty of time here for Dark to pull it back. I kind of hope he does at least a little bit. I don't want to see a 3-0. I'm never a 3-0 fan. Would be fun to see a 3-2 and see Dark pull it back at least to that game 5. All right. We made the lobby without Observer Plus again. We're redoing. We almost went with it anyways, but yesterday here he used the carriers in World Team League as well. Yeah, he's been liking the carrier transition. That worked really well for him against Ragnarok earlier. Obviously worked really well in that game. I think catching a Zerg, it's a very specific thing. Catching a Zerg who's staying low tech purposefully to just go like heavy amount of Roachling Bane, Ravagerling Bane, that kind of stuff. And then catching them with like 6 carriers and their pants are down. So powerful. Being ahead like that, super powerful. It really only works, I think, if you're ahead. Or at least the Zerg's not in a super comfortable place where they have like 80 drones and can just build whatever. All right. We're almost ready to get into Gressfon. Almost ready. Hopefully the players are ready. Looks like they are. All right. It took us a minute, but we're getting there. If you guys are new to the channel, I hope you enjoy some high-level Korean StarCraft. The KSL is a weekly event put on by myself and Dave Testa and supported completely by the community. It's totally crowdfunded by the Patreon. If you would like to become a patron and support the weekly KSL, or, well, and also support our big summer tournament, the Summer Slam, that's going to be at the end of August. Check out that Patreon. We do really appreciate the support. Really, absolutely couldn't do it without that support. I mean, it literally wouldn't exist without the support of the community. So, much love to any of you guys who do support. And if you're like, can't spend the money, totally get it. I appreciate your views. Appreciate you hanging out and enjoying this lovely game with us. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Gressfon for Game 3 on match point is Dragon Kites's herO. And his opponent in the lower right-hand corner, he's on his last leg, his last life, but sometimes it's when he does his best work. It is Dark. Oh, look at that cutie in chat, Kessnuts. What's up, bud? I feel like it's been a minute. Hope you're all having a good one out there. I was kind of having a rough day today, honestly, but you know, some Korean StarCrafts fix you right up. Fixes you right up. Feeling much better now. I did find out that kind of suddenly I'm gonna start getting Mondays off from work, so this coming Monday, just a few days, I will be able to cast the EPT Open Cups. I need to cast both EU and NA. And I'm excited about that because it's been a long time since I've been able to do that. I think the last time I cast EPT Cups on a Monday was like October, maybe? It was like one day, maybe January. I think I cast one in January. But since they moved Korea, I can't cast that one anymore. So I'm excited to cover EU and NA on Monday. And hopefully most Mondays moving forward. Get some more content out there. Get some more content on the YouTube channel. Gotta subscribe to that YouTube channel too. Especially, you know, if you can't watch every event that I cover live, best place to watch is the YouTube channel, because then you know I'm only putting the bangers on there. Like my most recent YouTube video, which is herO versus Gemini. Only the highest level games. This will be like the 8th version of herO versus Dark I put on that channel. So many of these two playing in a finals against each other. You're going for a very solid, very standard Oracle opener. Dark's been the one kind of cheesing and sneezing it up a little bit. Getting a little bit spicy, wanting to put the pressure onto herO, put the onus on him to do something. And so far, herO's responded very well. Last game, it felt like Dark was coming back. But just like in herO versus Ragnarok, it's like Dark was coming back because herO was teching up. And Dark came back into a spot that really wasn't that good. Those carriers were like, I mean, they're pretty good. I think herO's really comfortable having just a handful of carriers out and mostly a ground army behind it. It's kind of cool to see carriers mixed in to regular PvZ gameplay. And like last game, those carriers died, but it didn't end up mattering. The game ended anyways. There was just too much ground army. And I think it's cool to see carriers once upon a time were like the late game unit. You got to carriers and you just tried to get like 15 of them, and that was kind of the end game. And herO was like, oh, I'll just build like 6. I just got 6 in my army. No problem. Happy to be a ground army after that. I think that evolution of this matchup has made it much more interesting. Oracle's trying to find some damage. I don't even think they got a drone there. Here's going to make sure he gets one. Oh, he gets 3. All right. Gets 3 drones. I think maybe a Ling before those Oracles get pushed away. Third base behind it, and it looks like it's going to be a blink and +1 build out of herO. We'll keep an eye out if it is like charge or something, but with the forge, very much doubt it'll be glaive this time. And there it is. Blink Stalkers. herO going for the old classic. The good old standby. Dark with the +1 melee drops the Roach Warren. Nothing too crazy here. Stasis Trap, mildly annoying. I think we got a bit of a macro game on our hands. Why would it be on our hands? Sometimes I think of the weird sayings we use in English. I'm sure other languages have them too. It's like, that doesn't really make sense. We got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing I put on my hands is like lotion or gloves. And this game doesn't really feel like lotion or gloves. I don't feel moisturized, you know what I mean? Whew. These Adepts sneaking in here. 6 Adepts going down, but 10 drones going down. This Adept somehow still alive, gets the 11th kill at the 11th hour. And that ends up being a nice trade here for herO. Dark did kill more resources, but 11 drones is certainly worth a handful of unupgraded Adepts. Blink Stalkers and +1 on the way back at home. herO's got a solid defense in case those Lings decide to counterattack, which it looks like they want to do. There's no shield battery in the natural though. Could be a bit of a problem moving forward. 3 more drones going down, I assume, to this Oracle. Stalkers are up and running. They have Blink. They're about to have +1. Maybe able to put some pressure on. Dark decides to bring the Lings home and builds a bunch of roaches. I'm a little bit worried about those Stalkers. He is still droning behind this tube, but not nearly as heavily as I would have expected. He really needs to get that drone count up. Here's actually ahead in workers right now after those 14 drones got killed. Dark finally catching up, but so slowly because he's building so many units with this. And herO really isn't pushing across with anything right now. It makes me wonder if Dark's planning on getting aggressive. But as I say that, there it is, 11 drones in the production tab. But it feels like it's a little bit late. If these 11 drones had come out first and then the lings and roaches started coming out, I'd have felt a lot better about it for Dark. He's got a nice little prism here. He's got the stalkers poking and prodding at the creep. Just gonna try to push it back a little bit. Keep the pressure on Dark so that Dark doesn't go and try to force a cancel on the 4th base, which I'm pretty sure hero's about to put down. Ling's here defending the prism. Again, hero doesn't actually need to get any damage done here. I think he really just wants to get this 4th base down. As I say that though, there's no 4th base, so he did need to get some damage done. Prism decides to come home. There's a couple of Colossi out. There's double Robo here for hero. But Dark is already at Hive. He's got Vipers coming out. And this is what I've been wanting to see from him that I feel like we just haven't really seen today. It's getting some Spellcasters out. And I feel like if these Vipers can get enough energy for a Yoink, it'll really neutralize these Colossi. But that's a big if. Because right now, this is a lot of charge lots, a couple of Colossi, even an Archon morphing, and Dark is on mostly Lings. Roach is trying desperately to hold the front. I think these Lings need to come in from the flank. All right, a handful of Lings coming in the flank. Just a few. There's the rest of them. The Vipers are out. They're not really doing anything. They're going to go for a Yoink on the Prism. Oh, that is a nice Yoink. The Prism's going to go down. No fancy micro here to get away from the Ling surround. But the Archons and Colossi might not need any fancy micro. Roach is trying to get on top of the Colossi. They will kill one of them. The other one's staying alive. But a few Roaches split to take it down. And it looks like Dark is going to hold on, killing this entire army. And remember, hero never put down that 4th base. He was very committed to this for some reason. I feel like he really could have put a 4th down and macroed out of it. But now he's lost his entire army. He just has some Warpins, a couple of Robo units, but it looks like Prism first and then 1 Immortal. And now Dark is up 40 supply. He's got a lot of Roaches out, a lot of Lings out. hero is going to put pressure on with a huge Warpin round of Stalkers. This looks like 2 Warpin rounds. And he's got a lot of Blink Stalkers putting the pressure on the front, but the army supply of Dark is so much higher. I feel like Dark can just kind of move this back. Pick off a few Stalkers on the retreat, and there's not going to be too much that hero can do about it. Just going to keep warping in Stalkers. There's one thing hero's good at. It's all-inning and then failing and then all-inning and then failing and then continuing to all-in until he finally succeeds. So maybe I'm underestimating these Blink Stalkers out of hero. Can they take trades that are good enough to put Dark in a bad position? I don't know, man. Dark is really busting forward. That Immortal gets taken down. Stalkers have an insanely huge concave, though. There's so many of them out. Dark's army supply is still higher. Baneling's starting to trickle in and do some damage to these Stalkers, but the Stalkers, there's still a lot of them. They're still pushing forward. The Roach is stopping them from pushing up the ramp, though. And, ooh, a little bit of a flank there. A few Stalkers blink back into death. The Stalker count is so crucial moving forward. Hero is actually closing the supply gap a little bit, blinking on top of the Roaches. Baneling's going into the Stalkers. Stalkers forced to split. Drones getting pulled, but fighting against the Zealots. Oh my god, is there enough here for Dark to hold on? Hero falling under 100 supply, but Dark not much further ahead, and now he's lost workers. The worker count's actually even between them. Oh my god, this Zealot even taking Dark down to 62 workers. Lings and Roaches getting blunked on by the Stalkers, trying to pick off a few as they retreat backwards. Army supply still, though, Dark is up so much, and a lot of that's in production. But hero decides to pull back and get a warp in, and that's going to allow Dark's units to actually come out here and hold the top of this ramp once again. This base has taken quite a bit of damage. Charge lots and Archons with this now. Hero, can he actually do this? Can he push through? If he wins this, the series is over. Dark desperately needs to hold this, but I don't know if he's got enough. It's just these Roaches. The Roaches are on +1 with no Carapace upgrades. It's the Lings and Banes that have the +2. More Lings coming out, trying to get on top of these Archons, trying to get on top of the Stalkers, really. If the Stalkers go down, this army of hero loses a lot of punch, and a lot of these Stalkers starting to die. More Zealots and Archons warping in here. And I don't know if it's enough for herO. He's down to 80 supply, and it looks so close. But I think Dark has held on. There's the GG. Dark puts a point on the board, doesn't let himself go down without a fight. He says, if you're going to beat me, it's going to be at least a 3-1. Insanely close game. The fact that Dark was able to hold that first push with the Colossi is wild. That looked so scary. He was just on Mass Ling against like Archon Colossus. But he was able to get it done, and herO was so committed with that the follow-ups they felt very weak. herO made them feel strong, but even he can only do so much. God damn. Wild game between those two. This is why we love these series. The Dark herO finals always gives us something. Game 3 is going to be on Ancient Cistern. A nice green map for our, game 4, our 4th game. I'm glad Dark was able to put a point on the board. See if he can keep the momentum going. I feel like Dark, I don't know if he's not the most momentum kind of focused player, but I do think it helps him quite a bit. I think it helps pretty much anybody get some of that momentum going. But again, these guys have played each other so much that I don't know if it's really going to come into play. We'll have to find out here on Ancient Sister, the most ancient of siblings. In the upper right-hand corner, we have Dragon Kitesies, herO, who hasn't done anything too spicy in these games. So far, it's been our Zerg player in the lower left-hand corner that's brought the heat. It's Dark. Seems to be feeling quite aggressive today. He is often an aggressive player, but not usually too afraid of the late game either, if need be. It would be nice to see herO bust out kind of a more cheeky strat, but I guess with big DreamHack Masters going on soon, these guys might just be playing it a bit more standard, busting out some older strats, something a little more predictable, a little less funky. Dark doesn't seem to be too afraid to bust out the funky ones, though. I love the hatch block. All right, I guess the Nexus block with the hatchery that we saw in game 1. That is such a great way to start the series off. It's very rare that we get a Dark series without something extremely aggressive. We also got a Queen walk out of him. Dark's really giving us the good stuff in this one. herO, where's the cannon rush, you know? I feel like that is one thing that I'm sad to have seen kind of fall by the wayside. We really don't see cannon rushes in pro play anymore. And I know already memes on the cannon rush, but there's something really special about a well-executed cannon rush, and it's so frustrating to play against on ladder that I understand why people don't like to have cannon rushes. But I don't know, man. It's such a special strat. And when you see it executed well at the highest level, just mixed into a series, it always felt so cool to see like Haas pull one out or SOS. You just see the cannon rush and you're like, whoa, what's that probe doing? I'm kind of sad we don't have that anymore. And it's unfortunate because whatever has changed has only changed at the pro level. Every time I ladder, I still get cannon rushed. I see a Protoss, and I'm like, oh. Check for the forge. It's like the worst of both worlds. We lost the cannon rush at the high level. Still have it at the low level. All right. herO, well known for his ability to build the worst walls I've ever seen. This is like, whew. Man, if I'm dark here, I feel like you just have to Bane bust this. Like, you see this? How do you not immediately throw it on a Bane nest and start building lanes? It would be so hard to not just immediately do that. The Oracle is over here sharking around. Would be able to spot it, you know, might be able to defend it, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, man. I just feel like, what is going on here? Could the Adept stand here? I feel like it could, but I also feel like the Lynx would probably slip around it. It's funny because I see Dave in particular give herO a lot of crap for not having the best walls. And I'm like, nah, his walls are fine. And then this happens, and I'm like, nah, you right, though. You right, though, Dave. Here we're going to get some cheeky kills here. Grabs 5 drone kills and sneaks out of there with the Oracles. Third base, though, under a little bit of assault, but the third Oracle, Stalkers and the Adepts will push it away. Push those Lings away. Exciting stuff. Do we have a follow-up here for herO? Not just yet. I'm guessing it'll be another Forged Twilight Council. No, it's not! Oh my god, I guessed wrong. herO heard my wishes, and he said, oh, I'm sorry I didn't cannon rush. How about straight to Fleet Beacon for you? How about the good old days where Protosses would just go straight to the Fleet Beacon? Now, what is he going to do with the Fleet Beacon? He's got +1 on the way. There are a few options. The most exciting option would be any Impulse Crystals and a bunch of Phoenixes chronoed out. That's not going to happen. It's too late. The Phoenixes would have already had to start. He'd probably want 3 or 4 by now. Could be Void Rays, but again, he could start a Void Ray at this point. The fact that he's not tells me it's almost certainly Carriers, but could be Tempests. Tempest's a little bit better at putting that early pressure on. Queens really don't deal with them that well. So far, it's nothing. I have a feeling it's Carriers, though. I feel like if it was going to be anything else, would have already those units would have started already. Yeah, there's that first Carrier hitting the production tab. It is, I don't want to say the most boring of options, but it's maybe the least exciting of options. And you know what? Dark's gonna Bane bust. Get him in there, boys. No! Banelings and Lings parting ways. I thought for sure he was just gonna try to bust through this. Okay, he is. He's gonna distract with the Lings by drawing attention to exactly where those Bane's trying to go. Alright. That was extraordinarily unsuccessful. Cybercore taking a lot of damage, but Super Shield Battery and clicking on the Cybercore should save it. Oracle's coming back. Nice warp in. In the meantime, 7 drones went down. I can only imagine that was the Oracles before they came home to also defend. And I don't think... Ooh, that Ling... If Dark was looking, and we don't have Observer ++ on, so we can't tell, he will have seen that Carrier. Spire is started up. So, yes, he realized it was Carriers he was up against. Drops down the Spire immediately, droning up behind it. Carriers are going to push across the map. It's going to be really annoying to deal with. Queens, they don't have any creep spread right now over here. Spores are going to go down. Queens do need to come over and help defend, but... yeah, this is very annoying. Queens can transfuse and buy some time. Spore Crawler going to move into position. A couple of Interceptors go down. Carriers will back away. I don't think they got any Queens either. Just a little bit of annoyance. More carriers being made. +2 started up for them. The Spire is about to finish for Dark. But hero's also got +1 on the ground. He's got charge on the way now. So he is getting ready for some ground units as well. He's not just going full air like a D-gen on the ladder. He knows he needs some ground units. It's an important balance. Dark also needs to strike that balance. 10 Corruptors on the way out. herO, I think, needs to get the hell out of here. Because once those Corruptors come out, if he's still anywhere near creep, those Queens are going to go help those Corruptors, and these are going to be some dead carriers. He can, of course, recall, and would probably get the carriers out of there. 10 Corruptors doesn't really kill them that fast. But not going to want to stick around too much longer. The Corruptor count is 10 and is growing. No upgrades on them just yet. Just focused on getting the numbers out. I think that makes sense. Mainly's trying to run in, not getting the connections they were looking for. herO up to 6 carriers, has stopped building carriers at this point. So it feels like he's hard swapping into ground, at least for the time being, and might want to make Dark overcommit to Corruptor building. But Dark is about to have the lair, and you know what? He didn't start +1. I think we see a Greater Spire here. I think that's what Dark goes for. Oh, this is nice. He's going to go for the Corruption, puking on the Temple Archives, takes it down, and then he's like, oh, you recalled the carriers. That's perfect. I wanted to kill those anyways. I mentioned the possibility of a Greater Spire. It is an Ultra Cavern going down. Corruptor's trying to dance around the Archons. Oof. Just barely don't kill that last carrier, but they get 3 of the 6 carriers. They kill the Templar Archives, which is really annoying. And all in all, I think that went pretty decently for Dark. Wasn't exactly the best trade in the world. herO definitely killed a little bit more, but I think Dark's all right with that. The carrier count being 3 is significantly less scary, and means he can start building those Ultras. The Immortal count is non-existent, so there's not really anything that kills Ultras very fast in this army. And I think Dark wants to try to take advantage of that. Now, Chitinous isn't done yet, so the Ultras will only have the +1 Carapace. Don't have a ton of upgrades. Ling's looking for some damage. I don't think they have Adrenal. Adrenal would be really nice here to help these Ling counterattacks get something done. So far, not able to find the damage they're looking for. herO expanding southward. Getting a little bit close to Dark's bases, but taking a 5th before Dark takes a 5th. Which is, I feel like, a rare thing to see. There's that Adrenal. Chitinous is nearly done. The first few Ultras are starting to hit the field. And I feel like Dark's in a better position against the carriers than we saw in Game 1. And it feels like he knows what he wants to do. Is he going to be able to get to that position? Is he going to be able to take the fights he wants to take? So far, herO really hasn't let that happen. Oh, but again, the Corruptors come in. They force a cancel or maybe just a straight-up kill on that Nexus. Delaying this 5th from herO for a long time. Dark trying to take his own base, but oh my god, the Lings sneak in even without Adrenal. Huge counterattack here from Dark. Ravaging the natural base, killing all those Zealots that warped in to stop them. herO decides to go for the recall, losing a lot on the way. Those units, I think, recall. Oh my god, they recalled to like the 4th base. Now they're running back to the natural. They will clean up these Lings, but it's taking so long, and in the meantime, the Ultras and Corruptors diving forward on top of this army. This isn't going particularly well for Dark. He's going to try to retreat, but he's going to lose Ultras on the way. But this counterattack is still working for him. He's going to target down the Robo and not quite get it. 22 hit points left on that bad boy. But he kills the natural completely. He kills a lot of the production that was here. He stopped these Immortals from coming out, or at least one of them delayed the Immortal from coming out. The carrier count is down to 1, which means these Corruptors are kind of free to fly around and try to be annoying again. Try to stop this Nexus from coming up. Lings and Ultras looking for a counterattack. It looks like the Lings are going to sneak in. The Ultra's going to pull back. Oh, man. There's not a ton up here. The Archon morphing a little bit late. Zelorpin is okay. The Oracles are going to have to help out up here. They will clean it up. Link's hitting over here. That is not going to work. There's a lot of cannons and shield batteries. I think the Ultras might need to be a part of that. But if the Ultras do run up there, I think they will demolish that. Speaking of Ultras, they're trying to get on top of this army. Corruptor is finishing off that final carrier, but 4 Immortals here means these Ultras really don't want to play. They do not want to take this fight right now. We do see that +1 on the Spire. I really wish Dark would go for a Greater Spire. I feel like now could be a great time to do that. But I don't know. Broodlords, maybe not the best unit in the world. This base finishes up just in time for the Lings and Ultras to take it down. Super Shield Battery does turn on, and a few units show up, though. Looks like the base might be able to live, at least for now, even with these +3 Adrenal Lings attacking it. But all of its static defense is gone, and herO is going to have a hard time holding that base. Looks like he's going to put some counter pressure on. But then Dark's just going to counterattack with Lings and Ultras once again. Lings getting on top of the Immortal. Oh, man. One Immortal not going to be good enough against all these Ultras. herO clears this base and then pulls back to try to defend, but his main is getting just decimated here. All of the probes going down. These Lings just tearing through everything. The Oracle's going to turn on to try to clean them up, but they've already gotten so much damage done. I don't know. This is kind of wild. This is such a scrappy game, but I feel like it's way scrappier for herO. Dark has a solid army back here to hold on with, but he hasn't wanted to take a straight up fight so far. And it looks like herO is going to try to force him into one. But what is this army from herO? Where are the extra units? Where are the gateway units to support? The Ultras get pulled in and just swamped. Or the Immortals, rather, get swamped by the Ultras. And that leaves the Archons on their own. A bunch more Archons show up, but I think they're a little too late to the party. The Ultras just chewing through them. And I think we're going to a game 5, ladies and gentlemen, as it looks like Dark is about to take this one to the bank. He's got Lings in the main again. He's cleaning up the army, and GG gets called. Dark. The momentum, man. The momentum. Keeping them going. Not letting herO take it just yet. The final map, game 5. Ugh, the ace match, the rubber match. Whatever you'd like to call it. It's here. I think we are going to altitude. We are indeed. Just got to get our players into the right slots, and we will be ready to go. Our final game of the night. Gonna hope you guys have had fun this KSL. I know I've enjoyed the hell out of it. We do have a Matcherino that has some Matcherino codes. So if you guys do want to check that out, it's a great way to support the tournament as well. It's absolutely free. You just got to go there, sign in with whatever sign-in you prefer, and click the claim code button. It's very easy and adds 25 cents to the prize pool. Of course, courtesy of the Patreon, we will be putting $400 into the prize pool, but anything added to the Matcherino goes specifically to this weekly. Yeah, I haven't mentioned the codes all day. I've been really bad about it. Also, I just realized I should start putting those in my YouTube video descriptions. There's been the last few we haven't used all the codes up, and I usually try to do that before I pay out. But when it's like $3 of codes left and players are trying to get paid $100, I don't wait for the extra $3. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. All right, game 5. I'm ready. Altitude, I feel like not a map we see. I don't think I've seen this map today. Definitely not quite as often as some of the other maps. I hope it gives us a good final game. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss for Dragon Kitesy Gaming. herO. And his opponent in the upper right, his teammate in the blue. It's dark. And herO has blocked the hatch every single game. It's funny, I feel like for a while we weren't seeing players block the hatchery every game, and it's just kind of come back. I feel like Protoss players realized, oh, it's not really that, like, good. It's not getting that much damage done. I don't know if it's really worth the lost mining time and blah, blah, blah. And then they realized, oh, Zerg players find it super annoying. I'm going to keep doing it. Even if it's not worth it, I'm going to keep doing it. Thank you, Senju, for using those codes. Yeah, the last... so we're on number 14. I think I've paid out through number 11. I'll pay on number 12 today. I try to stay 2 weeks ahead of paying out the prize pools to the players. Give us some time to get the codes together and everything, and make sure all the players are in. And at maximum, I'll pay it out within a month. Some players have been hard to find, but I think we've got pretty much all the players that we could need. I have like a list of all of their Matcherino accounts that I can pay them out. And then you get the really annoying things when it's like, oh, you can pay out this person for my prize. I'm like, dang it, why can't I just pay you out for your prize? But you know, different countries especially need to have different requirements. Another Stargate build from herO. Nothing surprising there. Things looking normal on dark side as well, as he's taking his natural base as the third. Some features of this map that we might be looking at is the giant wide open center. It just leads to some, I feel like, some more interesting, I don't know about more interesting, but we see a lot more attacks up the sides, I feel like, that we do in some other maps. But not a lot happens in the center. I feel like that's different from a number of other maps. I don't know. I almost never see anything happen down here. I don't know if I've ever seen a fight happen down here or anything. Like, sometimes they'll have it on these little platforms, but even that's super rare. It's wild. The whole middle of this map feels like it just doesn't get used. You know, Dave and I were talking about actually looking into expanding the KSL map pool, kind of taking away a few of the ladder maps and replacing them with either TLMC maps or some legacy maps that people really like from older map pools, or some combination of that. Maybe like taking 2 maps away and then adding 4 maps to have 9 maps to choose from. I don't know how much the players would love that, but I'm kind of tired of this map pool. It's really boring. I really wish they would have added a few fun maps to it. It's sad that the most interesting map we have is like this one. It's like, well, it's interesting because it's got a big part that nobody uses and nothing happens in. That's not interesting. I think the opposite of interesting. Now, Depths and Oracle's trying to find some damage here. A few drones did go down, but so far herO not getting too much done, but not overcommitting either. Yep, Oracle's decided to back up. Looks like another Blink +1 game out of herO. Waiting for the confirmation. Come on, herO, give it to me. I see 2 drones have died. It's exciting stuff. Does the Adepts go down? Yeah, okay, so the Adepts went down. Got a couple of drones, really. Nothing too crazy. Oracle's looking for something. Also going to be able to get a scout on the lair here. Oh, and it is charge. I was kind of waiting for one of these games where I was expecting blink and it went straight into charge. herO getting into a charge lot Archon kind of setup. I always think he wants to attack with this, but I'm pretty sure he's just going to take a 4th base and just macro into like charge lot Immortal Archon. Yeah, because he gets the Prism out. He like chronos the Prism out right as the Temple Archives finishes up. Charging +1 on the way. I'm always like, oh, he's going to go for a big charge lot Archon attack. And then he just doesn't. He might pressure with like an Archon drop. And I think that's the plan. But I also feel like a 4th base is the plan. Now that I said all this, because this is what usually happens, he's going to go for like a big all-in. Yeah, what is this? 6 gates on the way? I don't know, man. Is it all in time, herO? I just can't ever tell with him. Wait, was that an infestation pit I just saw finish? Oh, it was. It gets tagged too, so herO knows the infestation pit is done. I thought maybe it was going to be for Swarm Host, but no. It's a hive for Dark. He loves his quick hives. A few drones going down. herO, he's got a bunch of gates up. It's just 8. It's just 8 gates. It's going to be 9, 10. Yeah, that's enough gates to go. All right, no 4th base. herO's like, nah, I'll do that thing you always think I'm going to do. But now that you said I'm not doing it, I'm definitely doing it. Going for the big charge lot Archon attack. A couple of Stalkers. He's got an Immortal. Oracle's up ahead as well. And Dark was trying to quick tech to Hive. He's got 19 Roaches on the way. He's going to be a second before they're out, but herO is not giving him a second. He's going for it right now. There are a lot of Lings. Get a big surround here, but the Archons and Zealots going to make that not very effective. Queen's trying to put the pressure on as well. Archon's starting to fall. Is there enough here for Dark to hold? It feels like he might have enough, but as I say that, more Zealots show up. Roach is trying to come out in time to hold on here without any static defense or anything. I really think Dark was caught off guard by this as much as I was. And we're starting to see drones go down. We're starting to see bases taking damage. The Naturals getting jumped on. The Queens are all gone. It's just the Roaches now. Desperately microing against his army. Drones running away. No, not the drones. Now Roach is holding on to the Natural, but it's just against half the army. The other half is out here killing the infestation pit. +1 missile attacks will finish at least for Dark. This is game 5, man. herO is going for it. He is not taking a 4th behind as he feels like he can push forward. Dark's got more army supply, but a lot of it's in production and a lot of it's in Roaches, which is kind of the worst army supply you can have. He's trying to trade with the Zealots so that there's just not enough support units for the Archons and Immortals. Zealots clearing a lot of the bottom right side, not really supporting these units, so that might be the opportunity here. Evo Chamber kind of getting targeted down. Can Dark get on top of this, pumping out more and more Roaches? The army supply is starting to get very close, though. And another big warp into Zealots comes through. That Prism backing up from the Spore Crawler. The hatchery is nearly dead. Drones coming off the line to fight. They ran all the way around and they came back, now hold positioning. herO decides to kill the base and back up. He's killed a good amount of drones. The worker count's even. The base count is even. Dark not really able to push this back thanks to the Prism and 2 Immortals. But Dark does stay alive, at the very least. There's no 4th base for herO. Oh my god, he had 3 Immortals stuck into the base. If those had wandered across the map throughout that, I feel like herO could have won. It's kind of crazy how much damage output that was, just sitting in the base. Adrenal is on the way because of that quick hive. Dark using it to help out where he can. He's not really going to be able to get out too many hive tech units or anything, but he can help out those Lings by giving them Adrenal early on. And with +2 melee, those are going to be some very, very powerful Lings. They will just kill the shit out of everything. But they won't kill the shit out of carriers. Turns out carriers pretty good against Lings. Well, I don't know. Adrenal Lings can actually be a really powerful way to play against carriers. If Dark gets enough out where he can counterattack and be really annoying, the carriers really don't deal with that. They can't kill Lings very quickly. It might buy Dark enough time to get into something else, but I don't know if he realizes that hero's got carriers behind this, and this has been the name of the game today. Other than, was it just the last game? It was the only game where it felt like the carriers of hero didn't really work out how he wanted them to. Every other time, he gets to like 4 or 6 carriers before the Zerg even realizes they're there. And by then, it's kind of too late. And this is what we're seeing again. Is Dark going to have that game sense, that Spidey sense, to realize he needs a Spire and he needs it yesterday? Because +1's finishing up. Carriers 3 and 4 are halfway done, being chrono boosted out. Hero is not messing around. He wants to get into a bunch of carriers before Dark can do anything about it. Dark is going to be on just a ton of ground units. And I think Hero's going to have enough ground units to stop that big scary counterattack that can be really powerful if you just have a bunch of carriers in the sky chilling. But I think Dark might, or Hero might have too much on the ground for that to happen. And Hero's actually up workers right now. Dark just doesn't have the army complexity that he would really need to fight against this. And now Hero's moving across the map. These 2 carriers are here. There's no answer for either of these carriers. Like, what's the queen count? 4? Guys, 4 queens does not beat 4 carriers unless there's Microbial Shroud. I think they might win with Microbial Shroud. I know 1 queen beats 1 carrier with Microbial Shroud. Continual Microbial Shrouds. Well, Biles could be pretty nice here. Oh my god! I wasn't expecting that. He pops a carrier with the Biles. Dark playing with what he's got. He's got a good bit of gas. I wonder if Infestors are the way. Counterattacking, definitely going to be good here, but the probes will run away. Ooh, can they get away? Yeah, they can. Banelings get cleared up before the probes go down. Just some lost mining time there, but he successfully pulls Hero's army back. And now we've got the +2 Adrenal Lings over on the right-hand side. Gonna force a recall to the 4th base. Carriers are like, well, can't shoot up, so. But that's important for Hero that he keeps that base alive. And now he's positioned over here. He can start pushing on Dark's right side again. Oh my god, Dark lost the Infestation Pit. I totally forgot. I completely forgot he lost that Infestation Pit. That's why we haven't seen any Infestors come out. And Dark, he's trying to hold on, but he's down army supply. He's down in workers. And the only thing he has that shoots up are Biles. And guys, that's not going to be enough Biles. This army from Hero is just too strong. He's going to push forward. He is going to demolish these Ravagers. Dark doing his absolute damnedest, but he just doesn't have the right set of units. He could bile all day, and it's not going to be enough. GG gets called, and Hero takes the 3-2 victory. It looked dicey. It looked like the reverse sweep might be a real thing, but Hero holds on. He wins that 5th game, and he wins himself yet another KSL. And once again, Dark cannot take Hero down in the KSL. This is now the 4th time they've played, and every single time Hero has taken down Dark. Just can't beat him in the KSL. Hero's too good.